Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay. All right, it is 4:30 and I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. The chair notes that via Zoom, Commissioner Shannon, Commissioner Watkins, and myself are here, so there is a quorum. We will not be doing the flag salute because that is awkward on Zoom. And let's move into additions and revisions to the agenda. Do you guys have anything?
No, I don't.
I do not either.
Okay. Then we'll move into 3.0, which is correspondence and public comment. Individuals wishing to address the county court may do so at this time and at other times throughout the meeting. Speakers are asked to raise your hand to be recognized by the chair, give your name and address, and limit comments to 3 minutes. For those who are signing in on Zoom, it is *6 to unmute yourself if you dialed in on your phone. If you're here on your computer, lower left-hand side of the screen. And as always, as we move through the agenda, we are fairly informal here. So if there are agenda items that folks wish to comment on, provide input on, we welcome that. For now, I will open it up for public comment. I cannot see the courtroom. I know that there are quite a few people in there, so Delaney will be kind of helping me if folks inside the courtroom would like to provide public comment. Anything in there? Okay. If not, under correspondence, there are several items in here. Let me just navigate on my screen. The first one is an email received from Les Ruark related to the special meeting being held today. That will be part of the court's packet online. So if folks are interested, they can read that. We also received, let me just click through, a letter from Oregon AFSCME Council 75, which is the union that represents our employees here at Gilliam County, related to agenda item 4.1, which is the Sheriff's Office overtime compensation, essentially asking the county court to consider granting the same policy to them. Again, that will be part of the packet posted online. And then related to, let me just see here, I want to make sure I get it. Related to agenda item 4.2, there are 2 letters that have already been posted under correspondence. The first is coming from Susie Smith, related to the Deputy County Clerk position. The second is from Bonnie Johnson, also related to the Deputy County Clerk position, both encouraging the county court to approve a full-time Deputy Clerk position. And for all of those, if folks would like to read them and see the correspondence, those are become part of the court packet, which is always online. And that is it. So let's move on to unfinished business with it, which is 4.1. Consider approval of resolution number R 2023-15, a resolution adopting a Gilliam County Sheriff's Office overtime compensation policy and revising the Gilliam County Handbook. I know that Gary is in the room, but Gary, if you want me to kick it off, I can. How would you like to proceed?
I would be happy to talk about it if you want.
Okay. You can just,
Sure.
Yep, perfect. That way we can see you.
Just so everybody understands, the sheriff's office has always been paid overtime, and as far as I know, county employees were paid overtime based on hours worked for the day. So July payroll, I was shocked to learn that it's based on a 40-hour work week. And so if somebody takes a day off, has a personal day, sick time, you know, whatever the circumstance, and then they work 6 hours overtime, that is not counted as overtime. So that came as a shock simply because historically they had been paid. And so I don't know if the rules weren't being followed, the rules got changed. I don't know, but in emergency services, at least, whenever you have anybody in a situation where they are needed or on call outs, you run the risk of not getting people to respond. So, unless you pay on-call time, which is costly to the county as well. And I know that we have a policy in the sheriff's office that if you're put on call, we have to pay you for that on-call time. So if I have the expectation that I'm gonna answer and respond to car crashes after hours, assaults, all the different things we deal with, then the guys need to be assured they're gonna get paid for that overtime. And I've always felt that if you get called out of bed, you darn well should get paid for that time. The other thing I'm afraid that could happen if we don't change this is there's nothing to stop my guys from just going to the office 2 hours before end of shift and just sitting there. Simply because if they, DUIs are 2 to 4 hour time frame, and if they get into a DUI in their last hour, they're not gonna want to work that overtime if they're not gonna get paid for it. And we have an expectation they're gonna keep our roads safe and work their full shift. So those are my reasons for wanting this. And, it falls into emergency management too. If we need, the road department, to help put out fires or to clear mudslides or those sorts of things, from the emergency management side, we need them, we should have an expectation, really, that they're gonna respond and help us out. Otherwise, you're gonna be paying the sheriff's office, sit out their hours, closing roads and whatnot. So anyway, that's my reasoning. And I would also like to request that since from July forward, July and September, there are 36.5 hours that the guys were not paid overtime. They were paid regular time. So 36.5 hours of halftime, in my opinion, is owed to them. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Liz, you're still muted.
So commissioners, what's before you is a resolution that would basically accomplish what the Sheriff Betancourt is requesting. So basically, it would, the resolution would modify the handbook, just making clear that there is a separate Sheriff's Office overtime compensation policy. That overtime compensation policy is also part of the resolution, and Tori Flory and I worked together on that. So that's the draft language. I also, just for your edification, wanted to remind you that the union contract does have emergency clauses in place for overtime, specifically for the road department and maintenance, to address similar concerns about guys not wanting to be called out on when they have scheduled vacations, particularly during December. So there are similar sort of emergency type clauses in other policies, which this would be consistent with. Any questions on this piece?
Not for me.
Leah, anything from you?
No.
Do I have a motion on the resolution then?
I move to approve resolution number R 2022 or 23, sorry, -15 as presented.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution number R 2023-15 as presented. Is there further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And then to the question that Gary had about retroactivity, are you guys okay with us going ahead and allowing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I can do that by consensus. So thank you for that. And we'll get that. I'll have Rachel work on that, on looking at the back pay and figuring that piece out for you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Okay, moving on. We are on to 4.2, which is consider approval of position description for deputy clerk. Let me just get back on my Zoom. I'm assuming you're up there, Ellen. Yep.
I would like to request those letters be read.
Thank you. Thank you.
People in this court probably have not seen them.
I think they're part of the record. So if folks would like to see them, they are welcome to. As I indicated, they are supportive of a full-time deputy position. So let's proceed with moving forward.
As you know, the judge and me had a meeting. I was given 6 duties to add to my job description for the deputy clerk. I will accept 4 of them, but I want to exclude 2 of them, and that's the county court minutes and the juvenile department prevention assistant duties. The minutes, you guys hired 2 assistants. They are confidential employees, which means they can handle labor negotiations during executive sessions. A union employee, which is the deputy clerk's position, cannot take minutes for labor negotiations. Confidential employees have a higher wage than the deputy who is taking on these extra duties. I've stressed I have a new voting system. All 36 counties of Oregon have a new voting system coming up this year. It is a presidential election year. The minutes are very important. They need to have time. It was suggested, I did not want my deputy clerk out of the office. It was suggested they could do them by Zoom. I do not believe county court minutes can be done by Zoom for many reasons, technical problems, you can't hear. Let's see. So I guess I'm going from there. If you accept Judge Farrar Campbell was going to take it to the county court. She feels we should take on the county court minutes. So I guess that's why we are here today, to decide what duties the deputy clerk position will be assigned.
So commissioners, a bit of context that basically I think what Ellen is saying is correct me if I'm wrong, Ellen, but that the only piece of the position description in question that is still needs to be settled is the matter of the county court minutes. And so that, assuming that you guys are okay with the rest of the duties, we have basically an agreement on everything but that one piece.
Yeah, just a little clarification. And Ellen and I met and kind of started through this process and spent an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I've talked to her 5 or 6 times since then, getting an understanding of what was needed in the office and everything. And I guess I'm fine with getting the prevention services out of there. I do wonder on the minutes. I mean, one thing I had suggested is that the clerk's office back up the financial director, and that really doesn't make any sense when I think it through. But Miranda's going to have to do that, or it'll have to be done out of county court office. And I was concerned some about Miranda's time, and we were going to 37 and a half to 40 hours a week, which would basically leave, 5-hour minimum to do the minutes for every meeting. And then on the week off, it'd be close to 7.5 hours to get them accomplished. So I guess I'm just asking Ellen if, and I thought it was just going to be on the video, not on the Zoom. You just pull the video up and go through the video. And you could do that whenever you wanted, whenever it fit your schedule. You'd have basically a week or better, 2-week span to get them done. I just ask if you would consider that again. Either way, I'm fine, but I'm asking you if you would consider doing that again, based on you don't have to be out of the office and it could be accomplished at your convenience, basically. And that position will pick up 2.5 hours a week.
And to
Again,
speak on the confidence.
Yeah, I'm not real clear on the confidential side that Ellen brought up too. Is that because that's a concern? So any clarification on that?
So what we've talked about internally is that Miranda would take the executive session minutes, because those are going to be in-house anyway. And so we right now are just talking about regular session minutes, regular and of course, like special meetings like we would be having tonight. One thing I think as well, just to note, and Ellen and I discussed this when we were talking about the position, is that because we have briefing materials for all of these things, most of these issues are summarized nicely and neatly in a couple of paragraphs and include suggested motion language, which obviously the court can modify, but by and large, there is, I think Miranda could probably speak to how this comes together, but by and large, most of the minutes are reflecting what those briefings say. And so, I would make the argument that Miranda's going back and looking at the tape to write the minutes. She's not writing them in real time, and I'm not sure why a deputy clerk could not do the same thing that she's doing.
Bill provided you guys with a time and analysis of duties, plus I've added passports, notaries, and the 4 duties you guys have provided. And I do not feel that we need to take on any more duties.
I have a question. I have a couple comments too, but a question is, why can't you do like you did in the Mayor Diaries, just come in and do the minutes? That's all she did. That might be a good solution. I have seen other people in the 7 years I was here in the courthouse that did the minutes. It's very time consuming. And when you have people coming in and out your door wanting other things, I'm not sure that you could get it done during the 37.5 hours or 40 hours. So just a comment.
That kind of speaks to the session we were in this morning on what happens when you get interrupted and how long it takes to get back on target.
Yeah.
23 minutes.
We have a couple more hands in the audience.
Delaney, if you can just go ahead and call them out, because the camera's focused on Ellen, so I can't see who else is out there.
Hi, my name is Dana Hahn. I have a couple of questions. First of all, I want to ask the judge to please sit still. Every time you back away from the camera, we can't hear you. But I have a question here because I heard Ellen make a comment with regard to taking on the duties of someone who was paid a higher wage. I have a problem with that. If you start transferring duties from one person who has a higher wage to somebody with a lower wage, I have a problem with that, and I need some clarification.
I can take that. So the current duties are residing with 2 other employees who are paid higher wages, but they're paid higher wages for other parts of their duties. So there's always a combination when you have a variety of things going into a job description. Some of them require a higher level of expertise and knowledge, and that's what we're paying for. Some of them are more keeping the office going, coding invoices and other things that everybody does in the building. So we do our best to make sure that we are looking at comparable salaries and looking at the entire body of work expected of the position.
Okay, that was a politician's answer. Nonetheless, you were taking the duty away from one person who is paid a higher wage, and you were giving that duty to somebody who's being paid a lower wage. Okay, that person's already paid to be working their 37.5 hour or 40-hour work week, and you are taking duties away from that person. And then what you're going to tell me is that their duties are basically just going to expand to take up their additional time. They are paid a higher wage to perform this duty. I don't see any reason to be taking it away from that person.
Yeah, I would just say that that part of what I had suggested to Ellen to offer to fill the 40 hours was stuff that we're going to take on with that position that's been doing minutes. So it's not that she was going to end up with less by passing it on. She's had some other responsibilities she's going to have to pick up. And we've also got a component going on in the county court with HR functions and getting all that in place. And we got a lot of work around HR that's pretty time consuming. And some of the tasks she's been doing have interfered with moving that along as rapidly as I'd like to see it move along.
Other public comments in the room? If not, commissioners, I need some direction from you. As you guys have noted, we're basically there. The essential function that is in question is item number 2, which starts off prepares county court meeting minutes. And so if you guys would like to proceed, it's either a motion to accept it as is or a motion to amend it and remove the reference to county court minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to go with what Ellen wants, what she says she can and can't do. I just asked her if she could reconsider that part in the minutes. If she does not want to do that, then I'm in favor of amending it and taking that out.
Hey, Pat, Liz, we
Yep.
have a couple of public comments, please.
Just so you know, so far I'm not impressed with your Zoom. Okay, I don't feel Zooming at all. But I do want you to know that I am not satisfied with your answer. Okay?
I'm sorry, can you identify yourself, please, for the record?
I identified myself when I first spoke as Dana Hahn, HOHM.
Okay,
2/17/1947. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not MCMC.
Can't hardly hear her.
I can't hear her either. Let's go on to the next question or the next comment, please.
Anyone else before? Go
Can we
ahead.
do something to enable that Pat and Liz can hear her?
I mean, they obviously can't hear because they're speaking over it.
Or we go to the table where it's microphone.
Or maybe, yeah, oh, should I
Yeah.
go up there and sit in Ellen's
Coming
lap?
forward would probably help. We can move more chairs up.
No, that's okay because Ellen probably has more to say. Okay, I could sit in your lap if that's okay.
Okay, I'm going to take back control of the meeting. Commissioners, are you guys ready to proceed?
I have one more comment
Okay,
on the position description on the first paragraph, general statement of responsibilities. The very first sentence provides administrative support and overall operation of the county clerk's office. And it says, and other departments. Could you clarify what that means?
it means simply that there are other duties, which we have already agreed to, Ellen, that also provide administrative support. So for instance, the being able to take fees for the planning department and for the justice court support. Doing the IT stuff is administrative support. The website is administrative support, and it's for multiple departments. It in no way changes anything else in the essential functions. And obviously it notes that you are the supervisor of that department as well.
I would like to add at the clerk's discretion with that. With that sentence.
Are you suggesting though that you would then not have them do the essential duties?
No, I would like to know, I don't want the county clerk to come back on me and say, you will do this duty because it says other departments on job description.
We probably need to can we clarify it with some language around those duties as described in the job description or something along those lines?
Yes, Pat.
Sure. So you would like on the first sentence, Pat, to say provides administrative support in the overall operation of the county clerk's office and other departments as described in the essential functions?
I think that just kind of clarifies it.
Okay. Leah, you okay with that?
Yeah, I am.
And then if she, yeah, you didn't answer mine. I asked you one more time, Melanie. If you just say no, I need to know that because we'll need to amend that also
No what? No to the two
on the minutes.
minutes?
Yeah.
No.
So what we're looking at is a motion to approve the amended job description with the two amendments that we have discussed. So if one of you wants to make a motion, I can state what those amendments are.
I am moved to approve the position description of deputy clerk as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the position description for county clerk as amended. Those amendments being on the first sentence under general statement of responsibilities, adding the phrase after other departments as included in essential functions, or as added in or as listed in under essential functions. And then for item 2, striking the phrase prepares county court meeting minutes. Is there further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Ellen will get that. And Miranda is actually ready to release the recruitment documents. And so as soon as we adjourn here, she will do that. All right, moving on, let's go into announcements and next meeting. So the next meeting for the county court will be a regular meeting on December 6th. I wanted to note for the public that we are going to be meeting later in the afternoon due to a scheduling conflict that I have. So we will be meeting, I believe, at 3, and we're figuring out whether that can be in the courtroom or if the contractors have moved in, whether we'll need an alternative space. So look for the agenda materials that will specify the time and location once we have those confirmed. Commissioners, anything that you guys want to share in terms of announcements? Or if you want to just save them for December 6th, that's fine too.
I'm meeting out today, so I'll save him.
Leah, anything for you?
No, I don't have anything to add, but happy Thanksgiving to everybody next week.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you on December 6th, and this meeting is now adjourned.